The Chicago Blackhawks have defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs for the second time this season. In what was probably one of the most fun games of the season, there are many things in this game that we will probably never see again, including a hat-trick from Jason Dickinson, as well as probably the craziest overtime goal I've ever seen. So we're going to take a look at this game in this video, but before we get into that, we notice that 83% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a spot to get all your news on the Chicago Blackhawks, you're in the right spot. Make sure to stay a while so you don't miss out on any of the news around the Blackhawks. Now, like I said, what was a very, very fun game? You know, this is what the Blackhawks should do for the rest of the season. This is a game that you like to see as a Blackhawks fan. Win this one 4-3 against Toronto Maple Leafs, with the Toronto Maple Leafs absolutely dominated around the first half of this game. They dominated the first period and a bit of the second period, but, you know, the Blackhawks found their way back thanks to Jason Dickinson. You know, solely, but he was the one that brought this to an overtime, and obviously the goal from Kevin Korchinski off a rebound from Connor Bedard. But it was a very fun game, like I said. You know, there's a lot of things that you like to see in this. It was a true classic original six matchup. It was very chippy, very, very physical, you know, stuff that you love to see, especially on a game like this in the afternoon, American Thanksgiving. It's just a very, very cool game in the opportunity and the time, and fun to watch. Here's the box score for this game. You know, the first line did struggle a bit. I will say that between Bedard, Kurashev, and Lukas Reichel. You know, they didn't have the most offensive chances, a lot of chances against them while they were on the ice. But the rest of this lineup played, you know, absolutely incredible. The highlight of this one here is obviously Jason Dickinson. 3 goals on 5 shots. You know, he carried this team to bring them to overtime. But the rest of this game, you know, it was very, very good. I gotta say, you know, there's not too much I can say. Joey Anderson had a great game in what is one of the few games he's played this season. But yeah, you know, if the Blackhawks can continue to do this, it's definitely something that they'd like to see and like to continue on, especially against one of the better teams in the NHL this season. A lot of people were wondering what team would be finally would be the team to stop the William Nylander point streak, and it was the Chicago Blackhawks. Maybe a team he'll be looking at in free agency. We don't know. No facts behind that, but you know, got to be pretty interesting to play with Connor Bedard. But we had a bit of a different lineup today as well. You know, with this team now with Taylor Hall out, Corey Perry. Many injuries on this team, a lot of stuff that they got to work around, and you know, it worked out well today. I think the first line is something that they found out that they want to continue with, between Reichel, Bedard, and Kurashev. That seems to work out well. Obviously, it's not going to work out well at every game, like you see in this game. It wasn't too efficient, but the rest of the lines, the rest of the forwards, they played very well. You know, that third line, I got to say, exceeded my expectations, and I'm sure they exceeded a lot of other people's expectations as well. As well as the defense, you know, they played pretty solid at the end of the game. But for the whole game as well, you know, it was only 4-3, but a lot of that also had to do with Arvid Soderblom. His best game this season was the first time they played Toronto, and this was the second win of the season against Toronto today. And you can definitely see he feels comfortable playing the Blackhawks. Overcame some adversity early on, getting those goals, but against them, the Blackhawks, they fought back though, as well as Arvid Soderblom, and I'm sure that has to be a major confidence boost for him going through the rest of the season. You know, both wins this season that he has. He don't have too many, like we've said. I think he only has maybe 5 in his NHL career. I can't remember the exact number at this point, but it was not very many. But you know how bad this Chicago team was last year, which was a major effect on that, was a major, effect on why his win-loss ratio was so low. Apologize for that. Couldn't get the words out. But, you know, this team had a lot to, you know, overcome, like I said. The unknown about Corey Perry, you got to think that's in the back of their head as well. He was a guy who has been pretty much played every game, if not majority of games. I'm not sure exact. I don't think he missed any. But he was a major factor on this team, and not having him on this lineup, it sucks. It really do suck. You know, you want him back as soon as possible, and this was definitely in their minds. So, overcoming stuff like that, you know, it put him behind it. Kevin Korchinski said it best here after the game in a quote. They was asked a discussion about bringing more energy tonight, and he said, maybe not energy, but channeling our emotions in a positive way. We can't get down on ourselves. We got to get those positive vibes going. Excuse me. And, yeah, that's exactly what they did. You know, they felt comfortable. They were having fun. And, you know, it's what they need to do. I think it's what they did. We said this earlier as well in a previous video when they had that players-only meeting. I don't think it was, you know, wasn't about coaching. It wasn't about anything. It was about accountability and, you know, not giving up on yourself. And I think that's a major factor that they've been taking throughout the rest of the season since that meeting. And, you've seen it. They've been playing better and better every game, getting more used to the team, And the team's also just starting to find their groove, find what they find within gel, who they play with on forwards and the defense, on their line pairings. It's starting to get better. And, I don't expect too many, blowout wins or anything, or, any major win streaks, but games like this, wins like this, is what you need for this team to be able to get better. It's not about skill, it's a lot about getting the confidence to be able to do this, to be able to win these games under adversity like they are right now, with the unknown of Corey Perry, all the injuries they have in Taylor Hall and everybody else on this team. So, it says a lot, this game did, about this team and about this team going forward and how they want to play rather than how they do play. So, a very, very fun game. Like I said, a very classic Original Six game, and a good day to have this game. So, not much else to say on this game. It was pretty good. I'll pop up the box score again here just for a few moments, see if we notice any more any more discrepancies, I would say, positive discrepancies, other than, Jason Dickinson, Kevin Korchinski. Touch on that a bit, actually. That overtime goal, I believe that someone quoted at the end of the game, after in the interviews, that I think it was Connor Bedard just saying that he was circling around the net, trying to create some traffic, trying to create some panic on the defense, and it worked out. That shot from Bedard goes out. I'm not sure if it was off a body, off the post, off, the goalie, went up in the air, bounced, and Kevin Korchinski scored it. I really have no idea how that went in. The goal is probably one of the craziest overtime ones I've ever seen, if not the craziest, and, I really don't think that this is going to be topped by any weirdness over the next, over the rest of the season. But, anything can happen. I've always said that anything can happen. But Jason Dickinson scoring a hat-trick as well is not something that I think we should get used to. Guy's a dog. Just best way to say that. He's been around the league for a long time. He knows the way around the NHL. Another veteran leadership guy on this team. But, yeah, I don't know if we're going to ever see a game like this again. But this was a very, very fun game to watch. And, if you haven't watched it, I do recommend going seeing the highlights as well. There's a bit of dangerous knee from Mark Giordano on Connor Bedard as well on that one. It looked a bit, unknown, but I think there was no intent behind it. Mark Giordano was not that kind of player. Bedard was fine after, but it could have been dangerous, But after that, I think everything kind of settled down, and I think everything was fine. No intent behind any of that, but like I said, very fun game. If you haven't got a chance to watch, if you didn't get a chance to watch, go watch the highlights. Especially go watch the Kevin Korchinski goal. That was a very, very crazy one. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Just kind of a little game update, and want to talk about some things that happened in the game. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you don't want to miss out on any Chicago Blackhawks news for the rest of the season, the off season and stuff. It's going to be a very fun road following this Blackhawks team over the next few months. So make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss any of that. But that's all I got. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day, and see you later.